evening, everybody.
Oh, that's right. How y'all doing?
Good.
Are y'all not tired, are y'all? No? Anybody, y'all got your second win?
Yep.
We gonna learn something tonight, right? We gonna make some money after this?
Yep.
Who quit their job this year?
Back
Go
here.
ahead, people. Who quit their job this year? All right, who just creating another income to help cut down on their bills? All right, so everybody got a different lane, and that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. So, my name is Anthony Lee, licensed realtor in Pennsylvania, under KW. Our real estate team name is Good Neighbor Real Estate Group. I've been in this since 2013. Purchased my first property my second year out of college. I purchased a duplex. Everybody know what a duplex is? So I bought that property with the money I had to save, $4,000 out of pocket. Don't seem like a lot, right? Manageable, save some money, or use your tax returns. For those of you who are still in school, those tax refunds, stack them up. Use that to your advantage. That first property, the mortgage, anybody want to take a guess?
Where was it?
Say it again. Close. 600. So my first, West Philadelphia. Somebody asked me, where was it? I'm sorry. West Philadelphia, 58th and Spruce. Right across the street from the rec center. My first one. $4,000 out of pocket. The mortgage, $600. Tenant on the first floor was paying $600. Guess how much the tenant on the second floor was paying? $700. That was a 2-bedroom. So once I realized that, it was right. Somebody else is paying the mortgage and putting money in my pocket, and I still was living in my mom's back room. That's when life was sweet. Now I got 2 kids, a wife, and I can't keep up with none of the stuff that's going on. But it was the light bulb that went off. So like for me, I've always been an entrepreneur, but I didn't necessarily want to be the thing, like the person or the thing that had to generate the money. I wanted to make money in my sleep per se. So that's where the real estate and buying multifamilies, or just buying real estate in general, is like, oh, you could reach this and not have to be the thing pushing the train all the time. How that sound? Anybody like that? Yeah. Add that to your portfolio. Anybody got like a job that they do love? I'm gonna say something. So you enjoy your job, right? What do you do? So a job that you got flexible schedule, you can make a little bit of money or a lot of money, you can pick and choose what you want to do, right? So just imagine now you add a couple properties to it, go to work when you really want to, right? But now you go to work and you be like, start with me today, y'all. I walk out. That's a great feeling to have. And now, Marlon, you want to talk a little bit about your story?
Well, my name is Marlon Goldfine. I'm licensed realtor in PA and Delaware. And I've got to go into real estate maybe about 5 years ago. I got my license in 2017, I believe.
Yep.
So I haven't been licensed for as long, but you know, I've always been interested in real estate. Me personally, I work a full-time job. It's very flexible, so where I can kind of maneuver as I need to maneuver. But for me, I was looking at the end game. You know, I work a full-time job, got a 401k, but I couldn't see myself, you know, working until I'm 65, 67, just to retire and get to enjoy that for, 10, 15 years, 20 if I'm lucky. You know, for me, I was looking, I want to be able to have freedom to do what I want to do. If I want to travel, I want to relax. If I want to, take a year off and coach, do basketball, whatever I want to do, I needed another avenue to make more money. And for me, that was real estate. So I purchased myself a duplex, same as Anthony. I purchased a duplex in West Philly, and I leveraged the money that I was making at my job in order to get me into that duplex. And with that, that started my portfolio as far as, like you said, you got somebody paying the mortgage, making extra money coming in, then you can build your portfolio and build from that. And the goal for me is to, get enough money to supplement my 9-to-5 income. And like I said, whether I want to stay with it or not, I had that option to where I could switch or, take a break if I want to or not. But ultimately, the goal is to make enough money to where I have the freedom to do what I want to do. And I believe that everybody in this room is looking for that same kind of freedom, right?
Right.
So, today we're here to pretty much just give knowledge, stuff that we learned. We got an expert in the building, gentleman that has been doing it for a lot of time, and he gives out, if you follow his page, he gives out a lot of gems. I'm, refreshing his page all the time, writing down notes because, you can't never have enough knowledge. So, with that being said,
Malik Carter, you want to come on?
Coming on up. I hope that was a good intro.
No, it's pretty good. I appreciate it. So Malik, you want to just introduce yourself? Are we sitting up the whole time? Oh, we can sit. Come on. You got the middle seat. Can everybody see us good still? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Everybody, thank you for coming out this evening for the event. Just to hear me talk a little bit. I definitely want to thank Good Neighbor for throwing it on. And this is the best spread I've seen for a free event. So I'm gonna tell Anthony, put up your cash app. People that appreciate it. I got a paid event coming up. I wasn't gonna do that good, so now I gotta think about what I'm gonna do. So for those that don't know me, I actually pretty good of people in here know me. I actually started a long time ago back in 2005 as a mortgage loan officer. That was my introduction into the business. And back then everybody was getting rich in real estate in the mortgage business. And I knew that I was going to be rich, like very rich. I found a company here, and there was only one branch of a bank here in Pennsylvania, and they would do 100% financing with a 500 credit score, and you could have collections up to $4,999, and you didn't have to pay them off. If you had 5,000 collections, you had to pay everything off. If it's less than 5,000, you have to pay any collections off. So I'm wait, 500 credit score, 100% financing. I'm like, I'm gonna be like tomorrow. I'm gonna be rich. Like everybody's getting a house. And then, so I opened my company. After a year in the business, I opened the company, and 3 months into me owning my office, I got the first fax. That's what it was. I got the first fax that the banks were closing, and I had 3 month good run, and then everything pretty much collapsed on me and everything else, and then I pretty much went like eight months with $0, and I had to figure it out. So that was my first foray. But in that time of doing mortgages, I was really going to be smart. Like, okay, if I get them 100% financial for the mortgage, and I could be the realtor, like if somebody bought a house for $100,000, I could make $8,000 of every deal. Like, man, I'm about to really crush it. But so I got my license, and like I said, everything, took a turn for the worse. So after that was done, I ended up, getting a job a couple places, and I started just to buy a couple of houses here or there for myself, like 1 a year or so, and then helping other people to buy houses. And actually today, the majority of my net worth are from houses that I bought from 08, 09 for 18, 19,000, like that nobody wanted. And so that's really the bulk of my net worth now. Like those little cheap, raggedy houses on these small blocks. That's where it was. And then 4 years ago, I was with the housing authority for like 6 years with the housing authority, and I came back in the street full time as a realtor, as an investor, and I started to pick up some more rental properties, pick up some steam, flipping houses, and which brings me here at the end of today. I did, I think 6 flips last year. I think I'm just trying to double that this year, and I still pick up, rentals. I should probably put a goal for rentals for the year. I don't have it, because without going too far off of this question, I do want to say this. Like when I look at deal, I look at every deal like an NFL draft, right? I pick the best player available. So when I see a house, it's not like I specifically want to add. I'm not looking for a house to add rental or a house to flip or a lot. I'm looking for the best possible deal and try to figure out money off whatever comes my way. So I look for property, try to figure it out.
Okay. So now y'all know who Malik Carter is? Dad, husband,
All of that.
mentor,
Mentor. On my Instagram.
aka the coach. So well, you kind of talked about it. My first question was going to be what really inspired you to get into real estate in general?
So, my family's been investing in real estate since literally like slavery,
Okay.
like real deeds, ownership from them. You can track it, it's documented. You have paperwork,
Okay.
right? And so it was kind of like a no-brainer for me to get in real estate. You know, my dad had houses, my grandfather, uncle, everybody had investment properties.
Okay.
For me to take it to the next level and keep going is I was doing mortgages. I was just working with this Russian company, man. All these guys, you know, first generation Americans, everybody getting rich in real estate,
Okay.
and I'm not. So I'm like, all right, let me try to they getting rich. They can better speak English. I think it's a way for me to make money out here.
Right, in your own community and neighborhood.
In my own community neighborhood, you know. And so when at the point I decided to jump in full time, I was just, you know, I was at the housing authority, and I was there for too long, and they kind of forced me out in a way where I used to do side work. Right? I was a realtor also, while I was at the housing authority. So I would look for houses, send houses out, try to do stuff. But they sent me to a site where I had to actually work the entire day.
Okay.
I'm like, damn.
Force you to do
Right.
your job.
I'm like, damn. So before I had like a few hours where I could look for whatever. I might have to run out. I had a rooming house down on Dolphin Street, and that was my first spot. Was with Blumberg, 22nd and Jefferson.
Blumberg was the job site.
Yeah, I used to work in Blumberg. Right?
Okay.
So I had to, that was right there. I would shoot over there, collect rent, whatever to do, come back to work. You know, it was sweet.
Life was good.
It was very easy.
Okay.
But then when they changed my site a couple years later, I mean, it was like all work all day.
Okay.
And I was like, I just, you know, and so I, you know, I wasn't feeling well. Right, I had nothing after that crash. And so I was a little scared to really come back out full time. And then I over leveraged, right, and just lost it being crazy. But so what I did for my safety net, I got an exterminator license. And I was like, all right, well, if I don't make it in real estate, I know for a fact I can find 4 people a day that got roaches. For a fact. Right?
So now you gonna start
Right.
killing the roaches.
Like, listen, at $50 a house, I can find 4 a day. I can spray 4 houses a day, and I can still do real estate.
Okay.
That's my fallback. I never had to spray. I did 2 jobs. I did 2 jobs. You know, and that was my mindset. I was like, I'm never going to be in a position where I'm not making no money
Money at all.
And so extermination is still a viable business. Like right now, I'll go back to doing it.
Okay.
Right. Because city of Philadelphia, everybody got roaches, everybody got mice.
Right. Especially with all the construction going on now.
Come on.
Gotcha.
Right.
So going back to you, did you buy your first property while you were working at the housing?
No. But my first house was doing mortgages.
Okay.
When I was doing mortgages, that was the house I was doing on Dolphin Street. It's a rooming house.
Okay.
And I was killing them when I was down there.
Okay.
And
So what's a rooming house? Some people might not know.
So a rooming house, I just had a house. It was a 3-story house. It already had 6 bedrooms. I added 2 more rooms on the first floor, and I would rent each room to different individuals. And you can do the math.
It was cash flow.
The third floor, I had front room was $100 a week. Then the other 2 rooms up there, I was getting $75 a week, and then the downstairs, I was getting $100 a week, $75 a week, and then $125 a week, and then on the first floor, I was getting $125 and $150 a week.
Okay.
Right. So the money was.
You was picking this up every Friday.
I was picking up every week, and I didn't have any utilities to pay for a while.
So we can't talk about that right now.
When I bought the house, you know, things were a certain way, and I just never changed that way.
Okay.
You know,
So he's making hand over fist. In that
yeah,
house.
hand over fist.
And then,
Hand over fist.
did you keep that house? Is that house still in the portfolio?
No, man, I foreclosed in the house like 4 years ago. I'm so happy for foreclosing the house.
Okay. Why you let it go? Can we ask?
Hey, you guys, no problem. Yeah. So what happened with that house is
That was that 100% mortgage situation.
right. So I took some money out of the house and I owed way too much, way more than the house was worth. And so when I was down at Blumberg, it was easy to manage. I was like 4 blocks away. Then housing authority transferred me to Barcelona Village. So now I'm always in Southwest. You know, especially in the Dolphin. If anybody doesn't know, it's like really a high risk block. You know, it's very violent. They're very, dark, and everybody know coming up. Every time I go there, got a pocket full of money every time, right? And so when I'm going there, my lunch break at noon was one thing, right? I'm going there at night, till that night. Then we had a home invasion, going in there, and there was just a lot of stuff that had going on. And my tenants got into a fight with the neighborhood. The neighborhood stole the door off the hinges, the front door, And I'm like, it was just. I'm always in Southwest. Got to travel all the way back to North Philly. And we just became, stressful. And then when my tenants called Illinois closed the place down and needed all these repairs to get back open. And the neighborhood, they just kept stealing everything. First, they broke in, they stole the tools. Okay. Then they stole the toilet. They stole the vanity. They stole the window. They stole the ceiling fan. They stole the pipes of the water heater. And every time I tried to do work into it, and then the neighbor, he used to, keep his dogs in there, like keep people out. And that was good for a while, but it was just draining. But that big mortgage, been vacant for so long, all our money just keep going out. And I was at the auction. And when the house came up for auction, I was there. And when the person bought it, I was like, Prince Akeem coming to America. Like, yes! I was so happy. Like, the burden was lifted from owning that house. I said foreclosure. I came back from it like next year. Credit was back good again. We established credit. Everything was fine. But the burden of having to have that, I tried to sell it, couldn't sell it. I couldn't refinance it. I tried to do a lease purchase on it. Nobody wanted it. Okay. I couldn't give it away.
Okay.
But so the bank took it back.
But in between you having that property and the foreclosure, you started buying other properties.
I bought a couple of the properties, right? But the property that I lived in, I bought the building. I did the deal with the building, had my workers company in. And then, but at the time I foreclosed, I had a few more properties. I can't remember how many, but I had a few more by that time.
Okay. So how did you deal with, like, we'll talk about the fear part. After, what was that, 07, 08? Like, once you foreclosed, like, how did you push through that fear? Because anybody in here had fear now, like buying their first one? Nobody got no fear?
Like scams.
Say it again?
For like scams?
Just in general, it could be whatever your fear is or anything that makes you nervous.
I mean, so the reason why is from my problems in that house came my investment strategy where I don't like to be over leveraged, right? So every house that I buy, I have 3 different exit strategies, right? I have to be able to renovate it and sell it as a flip. I need to be able to rent it out and for it to cash flow as it is, or I need to be able to refinance it, cash flow, and still be making money every month. Have to be. If I don't have those 3 things, up until 2 months ago, that held true up in this entire time as I was buying properties. As maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, I bought a house for too much money because that's just the way the market is right now. Like, I was buying houses for 20, 30, 40. Now those
Same houses is 80, 90.
those days they're 80, 90. At least in Copy where I buy houses in Copy. So it's hard for me to really stick to that formula. But at the same time, the rents are higher, so I have to be able to cash flow. I'm just not gonna be able to charge the $1,000 to $100 where it's easy to get a tenant like that. Really, charge upcharge
And put some bells and whistles in it though.
Yeah.
So, but even in that, just get back through that? Like, how did you not like get down on yourself and be like, oh, I failed, or oh, like I'm not good at this?
Because I legitimately feel like I can do anything.
Okay, so that's
Like,
a mindset for you.
No, I really feel that way. And the problem with feeling like I could do anything is I try to do everything.
Okay.
And so I had to like limit that like no, I'm in the real estate lane. Let me stick to this.
Do this one thing.
Let me do this one thing.
So for like newbies trying to start out and get their first property, to just say they don't have your mindset, what would you suggest to help them get over that fear?
Do it. It's nothing. So for me, it's a little bit easier, right? Because I had the privilege of losing a lot of money from, from town 18 and 19 doing events. I did parties, clothes, I made a lot of money doing mixtapes and all those things eventually collapsed, right? Especially doing parties. Imagine being 19 years old. We did a party with a little flip. Anybody know what a little flip is? Oh. That's it.
I know who you
A little flip, right? And I lost 17,000 on that party. I'm 19, right?
Okay.
And I never even seen that before, and then to lose it, and life still went on the next day.
Right.
Right. And then so from suffering that financial blow, and the next day just to really get back at it, then now I understand, like, okay, money comes and it goes. And next week I made money, I had to recover from that 17 that I lost on that party.
Okay.
But if you've never lost money, it's hard for you to start losing, late 20s, 30s, right? I'm losing money in the teens.
You got time to
recoup. I don't have the same burden. I had student, I'm taking out refunds to hold my life down, so it was a little bit easier. But now it's a little bit harder to take those out.
At this point, though, or just in that process, it was all bets are on real estate. It's
right.
No teeter in the fence.
Right. No, 100 had to be 100% real estate, right, and really be locked in.
So, and for some people, we're not necessarily saying 100% quit your job, but 100% bet on or go after your goal.
I'm anti-quit your job. I mean, everybody, all this, 9 to 5, don't do that. Like, why quit your job? You need your job to get the mortgage. You quit your job, how you get the finances to do the bills?
Right. Let alone if you want to refinance it.
You want to refinance? No, you need your job.
Right.
Don't quit your job, but be building an empire so that if the job getting your nerves, you can escape.
Right.
Right. You can take your 12 weeks FMLA, figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's took me a long time for me to launch my business and start making money. From there. But at the same time, I tell you all the time, like I don't spend money either. I was never a spender.
Okay.
Like only.
So even with all these houses, no Gucci belts,
No, nothing. No. I've never owned a pair of Jordans in my life.
All right. Well, I know that's one of my vices, so I can't. You got that.
The most expensive sneaker I ever paid for was $60, I think, the most. I don't know.
And before you got the car you got now, what was you driving?
2011 Camry. And before 2011 Camry, I had an 89 Dodge Caravan that was still hatched, but it didn't crash me up. And before that, my mom gave me a 04 Honda, I think it was a Civic.
Okay.
Whatever it was.
But with the benefits of real estate now, so instead of buying things that are going to create more bills for you, you rather do things like go on vacation.
Yeah, so
Or
listen,
provide a good education for your
I
children.
eat very good, right? I take trips,
Okay.
and I use everything else. I'll just buy assets. I buy nothing else in between. I don't buy clothing. I don't buy jewelry.
Other than your own clothing, right?
But yeah, you can find this. You can check the link in my bio. I still sell these. They're on there. Make these up in my Teespring.
Okay.
But no. So you have to save money because when you're not buying stuff, then you can take a risk, right? Or the money that you have taking risk could be in your closet, right? It's in the Gucci belt. It's in that car new, right? If you go to refinance and then you find out that your debt to income ratio was too high because the BMW payments is $600, and then the insurance, everything else. You have to keep your debt low so you can take bigger risks, do bigger deals.
Right. I like that. So, and I'll say for me, I learned that the hard way when I first started out. So I got laid off from the good thing was I had my job. It allowed me to buy my property. So, you know, I'm young. I'm still living in my mom and dad's house. So now I'm getting a little cocky. I'm like, oh, I'm about to set. I figured this out. I'm gonna be rich. New Year's Day, I go in the office. They like, hey, we need to talk to you. You talk to me about it. We just all got in the office. Mine was only 6:30. They're like, yo, we had budget cuts. How we had budget cuts? We've been closed. Well, we had budget cuts. We want to let you know today's your last day. But what? Today's my last day. But in that process, I had 2 cars, 1 house. I think I did something else though. But whatever it was I did, it was slowing my process up to buy my real estate portfolio. So I had jumped out there and bought maybe 3-4 houses at once. And I went to go refinance, you know, watching YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, like just buy a house and refinance and you be good. So I went to refinance and the bank told me, no, we can't refinance them because you got too much debt. I was like, well, I got the houses. That's all y'all care about. No, you're the personal guarantor. You have too much debt. So I had to then pay down some debt and also find a bank that had a little higher interest rate just to pull the refi off. But I still pulled it off and I ended up keeping the houses, but it was a learning lesson. So now it's like Malik said, I had to learn the hard way. Like, try to keep my bills to a minimum so I always could grow. Or for some people, if you got a spouse, tell your spouse your dream, and maybe you put the car in your spouse's name and then put the asset in your name. It's all going to the same pot, but y'all a team, so it's like one hand wash the other hand.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a lot than what Anthony just said. Now, I'll say this: the relationship my wife and I with money is easy because at the time after we closed down, you know, like she held everything down. There wasn't no when you want to get a job, when you going to take care of the bills. It wasn't that. It was just like, all right, well, I got to pay for everything, cool, right? And then even after I got a job, it was just I was told her, like, listen, you still do what you're doing. Let me save to invest, right? And she was cool with it. It wasn't like, no, I need you to pay half. It was like, okay. It was like, so I got. So she played that role, and so that partnership did make it easier. Like that was a cheat code, right? To have a partner, you know, that's willing to let me save my money while she held the bills down to go out there, you know, and take chances, you know. So I wasn't out here, you know, working without a safety net. You know, I think we had a safety net, you know, between her and my parents. I had plenty of safety net. But everybody, you know, spouse or partner is not going to see things that way. Okay. And I say pick the wrong one. This is my opinion. So, but also I want to come back to like the not leaving your job thing. So I don't think a lot of people I don't think my message resonates with a lot of people because right now, I was talking about earlier, like there's so much information out there, like on YouTube and all these websites and social media, and with all that information, there's also a lot of misinformation and disinformation, right, that's out there. And so part of the reason why I put out, you know, so much stuff is to kind of counterbalance you're gonna be rich tomorrow, like in real estate, and that's not the case. The first thing I said up here is that the vast majority of my net worth from a house that I bought from 10 years ago, right? When you're talking about a house that I bought for, you know, $20,000, $40,000 now with $150,000, $200,000, right? So net worth, you know, goes up. The house I used to live in, 51st and Catherine, you know, over time, it's like 9 years ago now. But when I bought that house, it was on the market for $77, and nobody wanted it. And I bought it for $63. If you can imagine, at 51st and Catherine, nobody wanted the house in that block 9 years ago.
Dallas University City.
And then now the house, if it was renovated, it would probably be very close to $400 right now. You know, I sold one a little over a year ago, first week for $320. The first offer, I put up $340. First offer $320. I take it. Let's go. It's out of here.
No questions asked. You like it, I love it.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, I was in it for $1.80.
Right.
Like, come on.
That's a win all the way around.
Yeah.
But that was from something you bought 10 years ago.
No. So I stalked that property for 9 years. So it was, I still own, once I lived in it, I still own that house.
Okay.
But the house had a fire.
Okay.
And so I knew the people and lived on the corner. And I stalked her for 9 years.
Okay.
It's a true story, man. So she finally called me back. And she's like, all right, I'm ready to sell. She said, the white man offered me $95,000 if I get these for $100. Oh, I can't get $95? I'm like that. She's like, all right, $95, take the house. And did the deal. I bought the house, and I was ecstatic. And you know, that was the first deal I picked $100,000 on flip. The very first one.
$100,000 profit.
The gross profit.
Okay. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. The first one.
But that's not every deal.
It's not very good. I had a string though.
Okay. Well, we won't tell them all that we don't want nobody following you home.
Yeah.
But for the people that do want to flip, so like for me, like I started flipping also because of Malik. So I started out with rentals. I got to about 8, 9 rentals, and then it was like, oh, I can start flipping because the market opened up, as well as I ran into some finance options. So he actually sold me one of my flips. Crazy thing is he made more money selling it to me than I did renovating it. So like I bought it from him, got burnt from a contractor, ran off with the money, paid him too much, then had to pay somebody else to do what he didn't do and still finish it. By the time I was done, I just made all the money back to just pay all my debt back. So I like literally spent probably 6 months of not wasted time, but learning from that era. But that learning lesson, like he said, made me stronger and sharper, in which I found a new contractor. I won't say who he is. I found a new contractor. And the next property I did around the corner from that was when I actually made a profit. It was like, all right, we just got to be a little more patient. We just got to set it up the right way, and eventually you'll figure it out. But with that said, in regards to, you said a thing earlier about all the information on YouTube, Instagram, do you believe people should pay for coaching?
100%. With the right person though, if you bet.
Okay.
I mean, I will still pay for coaching.
Okay.
Right now. Yeah. I'm not where I want to be. I'll pay for coaching. 100%.
All right. So what should I look for if I'm on all the Instagram and Facebooks and I want to pay for coaching? Do I want to go with the guy that I don't know that got all the shiny stuff and doing all the
Maybe.
cool stuff?
It's a firm maybe. I would say don't go off of that. Right? You actually got to see, like, are they actually doing this business? What do they have? Because what'll happen is, right, you see guys on YouTube or Instagram, they're on these houses, they're a contractor or a sub, they're the owner of the houses, right?
Okay.
Or they could wholesale the house, whatever. There's a lot of, you just got to find out, like we're not trained on the function of the house, right? And so most realtors have no idea what's in the house, how much it's going to cost, until you're putting that money out there yourself, and you go, okay, last time this happened, I had to pay this. Then you can tell, all right, John, you bought this, it's only going to cost you X, Y, Z to repair that. So if you have a realtor that actually does the business, then it's kind of like double-edged sword, right? You got, me, I buy more houses now than I did last year or the year before. And so if I see a house that has a good spread, like if you're my client, you're only going to see it if I'm loaded up at that moment. You might get like when I sold Anthony at that house, I was loaded up. I was like, I could either focus on the other 2 houses that I made over 6 figures on, and I can keep this house until next year, or I can sell it to Anthony. I can make this pick 30 and see you. Until then. I wasn't going to get to the house for at least 8 months. I knew that. And so instead of having my money locked up, I took the quick out and sold him a house that shouldn't be money. Right. So like I said, it's just like, picking and choosing these things.
Got you. And also, like you said, with the realtors, it would be tough, I guess, for a realtor. And that's one of the things that I'm always fighting with realtors about, because these prices sometimes are like astronomical, and I'm like, you're basing this off your commission. It's no way. Like I looked at a house yesterday, no, 2 days ago, in Overbrook. They want $100,000 in complete rehab. Like complete rehab. It's not like it's a big house. It's a regular row home. I'm talking about the people configured the house, I guess, for like an older person, and they put the shower and bathroom like in the shed, and it's water damaged. Like concrete slab floor, concrete slab shower. I gotta go in there and bust it out. Like the mirrors, you know, you go in grandma's house and the mirror go from the front of the house all the way to the back. It's just like that. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, $100,000. They're like, it's a great deal. I'm like, the house has been on the market for like 4 months. What do you mean? Nobody else sees what you see. Well, it's not my problem. Oh, okay. So, you know, so like Malik said, just try to, I guess, ask good questions to these realtors. Like, hey, have you bought any properties? Do you rent properties? If that's your goal. But if you're talking about being a first-time home buyer, you might not have to worry about that as long as they can meet your needs. But the goal for you guys, if anybody wants to buy a house, who you guys think you should call? So wait, say it again? Or Marlon. That's the only people you gotta call. And then if we're not available, then call Malik.
Don't call me.
He's busy rehabbing houses.
You call him when it's done rehabbing.
Right.
But not so seriously though. I do now it's got to the point where I only have a couple of clients. You know, they buy a good amount of houses, and I don't take on as many newbies as I used to. Hold or fix and flip. So I do both. I think it's always both because of my experience with the house on Dolphin Street, right, and being leveraged, that really scarred me being able to get out. So I really don't like selling any house at all, right? Do all this work, make this house beautiful, and sell to somebody else, make this one-time check. And sometimes check is really good, sometimes it's not. But I do that so I don't have to borrow as much money when I'm buying rentals. But ultimately, it's really to buy rentals and start to build rentals is really where it is, you know. And that's my next phase is start to build the rentals. You know, so right now I'm just buying them. But the rentals for sure is, you know, that we want to.
So are you saying that you buy all of your rentals cash, like from here on out?
Yeah, for the most part. So all these, what I do is, I have a house that's my bank, right? So when I say to my bank, is I have a line of credit on that house, right? So I buy a house cash, then I use a line of credit from that house to rehab it, and when I'm done, depending on what's going on in my life at the time, I'll either refinance it or sell it, or I'll just pay that loan back over time with the rent, depending on what else is going on. But yeah, honestly, you really have to buy cash and to get the best deals. If you buy with a mortgage, so what happens is, if it's 30 offers, your offer is 10,000 more. It's for hard money or a mortgage, you're probably not going to take it. They're going to take somebody that's proven they got the cash on deck, you know. And a lot of times people call me and I take my offers because I don't even look at the houses. They're like, yeah, you got the address. All right, cool, let me get it. Because I know material everything out anyway. I don't care what the inside looks like. Right? You don't put up your row house, they are the same. They say, you know, is the back wall cool? The roof cool? That's what I care about. If it's a row house, if it's leaning, don't matter. House I'm right now in Pine Street, the video, that house is leaning. We took the last 4 joists out, we replaced them, you know, put some new wood down. It just worked. I'm not going to work either. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not. So if the deal makes sense, write it up, send it to me, I'm in there. But that's my competitive advantage. I'm not recommending anybody here to do that. I'm not afraid to take that risk because I already have any extra priced into the deal. You know, if I do a deal, it's not going to be slim margin. It's going to be real margin. And so even if it's taking an extra 20,000, I'm still got money to make. Every deal that I do, I'm still have money to make. And that's why, like, there's a lot of guys out here buying way more houses than me. But I'm very picky at the, you know, looking at it. You know, right now, I'm mainly only in Cows Creek. I'm kind of expanding, and because the Cows Creek market is just so competitive right now that I am looking to expand some. But yeah, but for the most part, if somebody give me a street in Cows Creek, I'm probably doing a bedroom size.
I just want to ask, to revisit what he asked about, do you pay cash for the house? So now you said the market in Philadelphia prices are going up from no more than 20, 30,000 to now they're 80, 90,000. So what advice would you give somebody that, you know, they want to buy a property, want to get into real estate, but they don't have the 90,000 capital? Would you recommend hard money? Would you recommend partnering? You know, what advice would you give?
I do have some hard money. Actually, I'm good at that question actually, because the company that I'm using now, he wants me to start brokering loans for him, and I was against it for a long time. But it's High Street Finance, and the money, he has a really good loan program, you know, and it's like a 2.10% interest, and it's the cheapest hard money that I come across. I think Spring Garden is probably similar, but you know, there's no draw fees. Like this first time I'm paying for an appraisal, but they don't charge you for every draw.
Right.
They just like, here's
Crazy
money.
dot prep fees.
No dot prep fees.
Okay.
None.
And you said that's High Point?
It's High Street Finance.
So High Street Financing, Spring Garden. What's
So
another one?
Spring Garden lending, they do charge for doc prep, they do charge for your draws, all that kind of stuff. And then there's also direct.
Going on is based off relationship, and then provide an opportunity for the people that you want to work with. Not opportunity just in money, but you might know something that I don't know, or I know something you don't know, and we just keep building and sharing. In order for like, especially newbies or just people in general, do you feel like people should aspire to be real estate agents? Like, do I have to be a realtor in order to be an investor?
No, you don't have to be a realtor to be invested. The only advantage of being a realtor really is access to the MLS. I think actually being a realtor is a disadvantage in a lot of ways. I mean, there's so many state regulations you have to adhere to, and you know, you can even say, you know, certain things. Like for instance, I can't even, if I'm showing a house, I can't even say this is a nice kid-friendly house. That's against the law to say kid-friendly. Man, like I can't any of that. So it's just certain things that as a realtor you can't say, you can't word, but without having a license, you're not to adhere to any of those state regulations.
So if I'm not going to be a realtor and, you know, outside of coaching, is there anything else that somebody could be doing just to learn the business?
Do it, man. Don't wait. There's no better way to do it. So what I tell people is this, right? If how many people in here have already flipped the house before? Any flips? Then a couple flips. And then anybody got rentals? All right. So what I say, a newer person, lower risk, there's still houses, maybe Carroll Park, some Germantown, is some areas where you can still buy the grandma house, right? Because the grandma house is always going to sit there forever because it's too expensive for an investor and it's not nice enough for a first-time home buyer. So you're going to be able to get a decent deal.
I'm going to just say that those 50, 60, 70 houses now are 80 to 100, give or take. But, you know, the market has changed, but they used to definitely be 50, 60. You snatched them up all day.
Yeah, I mean, we should do Germantown parts.
Okay. Jimmy Man got a question.
So I got a quick question. So what would you say some advice is for someone who's looking at a property and let's just say a full rehab, but there's not really much comps in the area. So would you recommend expanding? Like, okay, that's more than a mile?
No, not, but in Philly you can't. In the city,
So like if you're able to buy it cash, then you can slow walk it. But if it's a hard money situation, you're gonna have to turn that thing around. So that's where you gotta make sure you're in position. You know, you at least want to refinance back. I would say within 6 months. But like he said, hey, if you can pay back the hard money lender at minimum and then still cash flow, and just say it take a year for you to pull your 10% out that you use for a down payment, it's still a win. It's just another step to your process. But now you're in the game, cash flowing, and you never know. You know, you might luck up and put yourself in a position where now you got this one property, that'd be the leverage to the next property. The next time you go to the hard money lender, he might tell you you don't need a down payment on the next one, just because you got the other property. But starting out, you definitely want to show them something, or put, you know, the down payment down.
but I'll say this thing about investing here also in Philadelphia is there are no I say this all the time, man. Nobody's a genius out here. You know, everybody. Oh, I buy Point Breeze. I buy in West. I buy in Northern Liberties. You know, I buy flips. I do it this way. There's nobody's a genius. Everybody's going to make money. Everybody. Ownership is becoming obsolete. Right? There's going to be a lot less people owning vehicles like shortly. And so, I want to be in a place where people can take public transportation and take their car shares wherever they have to go and not have to own a vehicle. You know, and so, yeah, in the Northeast, that's good. Plus, I can't get a deal in the Northeast. You're not going to be able to get anything to value. You're not going to be able to buy a Sherman in the Northeast. You know, now you can buy some lots and subdivide it maybe, but you know that's something different. You're not going to be able to buy these raggedy shells and bring them back and, you know, add value. Not, you know, that's not there. Not yet, but you will. Once Frank the Saint people next door, and you know, they have that, you know, that way. So I don't buy Northeast. My personal thing, I don't even consider Northeast. You know, and if I get a buyer that wants to buy Northeast, I refer them. I don't even say y'all in Northeast.
Well, you and then you, but
When you're buying, are you buying them as an individual or to a LLC or to a corporation or what do you?
I used to buy in my personal name. This is easier to get financing that way. Then I used to think so, but now that I have history, I can get commercial financing. So I still have houses that are in my personal name, a house that is my wife and my name, and now I have houses in LLCs name.
I would just say, starting out, it's easier to buy in your personal name, depending on what you're trying to do. But if you're going to be flipping, you probably want it in your LLC.
And hard money's not gonna give you money in your personal name anyway.
Hard money won't give it to you.
Nah,
Not
most,
your
some will, but most won't. Not your personal. Plus, if you're gonna rehab a house, it's a high injury rate. You don't want that in your name. Yeah.
Wall up and putting a brand new roof on it, putting a back of a house together, or you know, or
Just in general.
Yeah, just like a rough estimate. I mean, I know every situation is going to be different, but what if all the joists are okay? You don't have to take them all out, but what can you expect for your numbers to be good?
So again, it's relationship based, I would say. So it's tough. So just say I did 5 deals, but you did 1 deal. So a contractor gonna come in and he can charge you a couple more dollars. We probably gonna charge you a couple more dollars. But if we got that relationship, it's gonna be slightly cheaper for me. So I would hope. And then also back to the other contractor situation. So Jay is one of the contractors on my team. He tries to get high, but so I'll say he did save me. So I did those houses. I was bleeding. He came through. He put it together, and we got a great relationship now. Whether he's taking new clients now, I don't know, but you guys are more than welcome to talk to him after the event. But I can give him the vouch that he's a great contractor.
Okay.
And then, but in regards to, I guess, cost, I just use, if I'm gutting the whole house, if it's a regular roll home 3-bedroom, I'm saying at minimum I'm putting 60 grand into it. But that might be more or less than what Malik might say because he might have a different team.
Okay.
So because I don't do anything other than maybe pick up some material, but I honestly don't know how to do anything other than change a light bulb, maybe screw some handles in, I pay a premium because one, my time, I don't have time to be at the house all day. I don't have time to babysit people and manage people. So I'm normally paying a general contractor for his time to manage all the subs.
You got the,
It used to be great to go.
it's a great place to
Used
go?
to be.
Oh, used to be. Okay.
Great. Yeah, now, I mean, you can go. I don't go anymore. I'm saying, like, the prices, it's just not worth going. Like, they're paying retail prices almost at it's just not even really worth it. And then, especially by the tax auction, and you still can't even do yours for a year, really, you know, it is not. They say that it's like,
If you don't have cash, you can't finance sheriff's sale house to get the cash.
you know, but I'll say that. You have any questions real quick?
So I go from here, so we
All
could,
right. So let me say this. All right. So because there are different level of investors in here, I did want to just address the three young men in the back real quick. That okay, fellas? Raise your hand. Then, all right. Let me ask you guys this opinion. This question real quick, right? If you can name a millionaire right now, right? Just throw it out there. Name a millionaire.
Say it again.
Omi in the Hellcat is a very good example.
He was.
He is a good example.
Yeah, no, he was.
He is a good example. You think they took all his assets? Really?
Did they?
They took everything to the
That's what
bank.
he said.
They took everything to the bank, sure. You think you don't have bundles of cash elsewhere?
I don't know.
Omi's very good, I promise you. Omi say okay. Go ahead, who else? Who's that?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Bill Gates is another good choice.
I actually had the same thing.
Omi the Hellcat? He's that popular? I don't know Omi was that popular.
He
So
got
for those that don't know, Omi the Hellcat is just this guy from, I don't know, like Frankfurt, you know, used to sell drugs, and then he created an app using Cody, Amazon Fire Stick, and, you know, at his peak, he said he's worth like $50 million from selling this app on Fire Stick, and he started blogging. In his blog, he was just buying crazy cars and houses throughout North Philly, and nightclubs, and just living this crazy lavish life. Just a regular dude from the hood that had the mindset to build the app. You know, phenomenal, the ingenuity. Now, are your aspirations to be Omi the Hellcat or Bill Gates? Is that what you guys want to do? Want to be there? All right. And what grade do you in now? 12? All right, so I guess, like, what are you doing to get there? So what are you doing to get there? I'm saying, like, what are you doing to become Omi the Hellcat? Like, at least get that kind of bread. So I'll say this, right? But I think part of, like us, what we can all do is, I think if we change the imagery, right, of a comfortable life and change the imagery of a millionaire, because there's probably at least 4 in this room right now, at least 4, probably more, understand? And but what they are through real estate, they are entrepreneurs, small business owners, right? Some in tech in a way, right? But the one thing that holds true is that work, understand? And in my best days, when I know I'm prime, are the days where I'm waking up at 5 o'clock every day, and the days I'm waking up at 5 o'clock every day and I'm reading every night. When I'm doing those 2 things, that's when I'm at my best, right? That's when I'm most prime, right? And but I'll say this: if I'm an advocate for higher education, right? I'm an advocate for college. I say whatever you want to do, whether you go to college or not, I can't, say for sure, but figure out what that is, and you have to understand ownership, right? Understand ownership in real estate, because what that's going to do is going to help you to leverage, right? So if you want to be Bill Gates, or if you want to build the app, you learn this real estate business, that's going to give you your foundation, the money to help launch that other business, right? And how I was able to leave my job is I leveraged my house, which my payment on my house was 51st and Catherine was $625. I refinanced that house when interest rates fell, and I took out $50,000. I brought $50,000, and my payment only went up to $675. So I'm paying $50 a month for $50,000. Now,
For your personal house, plus paying itself,
and paying all my bills, everything,
all in one.
all in one. I was getting paid $1,250. My mortgage, taxes, insurance, everything.
$675.
$675.
And you still have money left over to cover the other house you didn't have no mortgage.
No mortgage on the house.
So then you just put that money towards your personal bills, your personal lifestyle.
Yeah.
Now anything above that is even more gravy.
Gravy. So I'm getting paid to live, right? And so I'm getting paid to live versus paying to live, and that allowed me money to invest everywhere else. I just happen to love real estate and the real estate business, you know. But it's whatever you want to do. But the foundation doesn't matter any business. The foundation is going to be real estate, you know. So once you understand that and investing in general, then like it'll be easier to do everything. I'm a real estate guy. That's what I do, and I'm trying to level up now. And so part of it, why I do this class, and part of why I put some stuff on Instagram and do other classes coming up, is like we were saying before, like there's so much misinformation, and if there's a term that a lot of people like to use, the BRRRR method, right? Buy, renovate, rent, repeat, whatever. I was doing that before. It was an acronym for it. The reason why I'm not huge on that now is because, and I still leverage, don't be wrong, but I don't like to take out all of the money out of all of my houses and put it back in, because people that are heavily in the BRRRR game, eventually they probably should start paying their mortgages down. You know, will they, won't they, I don't know. But it's my job to balance out everything online. And I also don't understand there are people in the city of Philadelphia that want to buy rental properties in Baltimore and Cleveland, Detroit. I love those places. The only reason for me to buy something, I'm looking for something right now like Memphis and Detroit, but because those are places that will allow me to buy an apartment building, right? I can to renovate. I can't buy an apartment building in Philadelphia.
And the house just going through the process of release.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, you know.
But from stabilizing your rents, like I didn't start out section.
And plus you're about the hood. I mean, most of the money made in the hood. That's where you're going to get your best bang for the buck. And so if you're in the hood, you're probably going to be in a broker.
But I'm not gonna lie, for me, like my houses in the hood, those are my best rental properties, and I have that mom with the kids, and they appreciate it because the house is decent and it's in their price point.
Yeah, what I do, my rentals are like a few $1,000s less than being flips. Like I put granite, stainless, I mean my rentals nice. People don't want to move out. You know, I don't like to turn over, so I do that. But you know, make them very nice.
I think it was one more.
Real quick, what was your number? You said your
215-868-5768. Get your pens out. This is very important. I'm gonna give you some names of some books that you must read a few times, right? The books that changed my life. Millionaire Next Door. Think and Grow Rich.
Say that again.
Think and Grow Rich. Cash Flow Quadrant. Millionaire Next Door, Cash Flow Quadrant, Think and Grow Rich. Oh yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the book that got me through college, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun?
Reginald Lewis. I'm telling you, not to cut him off, I'm telling you. When you got that, I was going to say, yo, Reginald F. Lewis, Why Should All the White Guys Have
Why
All the
Should
Fun?
White Have All the Fun?
I'm telling you, it will make you cry.
Yo, so it's an amazing
I'm
book.
telling you, somebody gave it to me, said it's going to make you cry.
And what's it
I'll
called?
fucking cry.
Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun?
Reginald F. Lewis, Baltimore.
It's an
Okay.
amazing book, man. It's like I wouldn't have graduated college. This is the fact. I had to read excerpts of that book every day, and every morning I played Dead Prez Discipline on repeat. Like the time I woke up, the time I left the house, that one song on repeat.
Okay.
And like otherwise I wouldn't have made it. But listen, but here's what I'm saying, right? The secrets to building wealth are in those books. If you choose not to read them, it's your fault, whatever happens to you at this point, right? Because everybody didn't give me or us all this information, right? Now you have it, right? If you're not wealthy, it's your fault, nobody else at this point. Can't blame anybody else. So read those, you have to do it, right? And I'm telling you, it changed my entire outlook on life and money and handling money and the way you do things. And I promise you, like read those books. And don't read them one time, because your understanding of those books in your life now is one thing, but you're going to change. So next year, you're going to be a different person, and your understanding of life is going to be different, right? So read it next year with a different understanding, right, of how things are. Like once you're out of school, you have bills and everything else, read them again. And they're worth, they're worth reading for decades on end. They're amazing books. They will definitely change your life.
So just to add to his book collection, definitely my book, The Teen and Millennial Investment Blueprint. You can get it on Amazon, all your major websites. But I was going to share y'all the book, well, not the book, but the website, alibris.com, ALIBRIS.com. I get all my books used and for a discount. There's nothing wrong with the books, but I could order those 3 or 4 books for like $10 tonight. ALIBRIS. So alibris.com. And then just also to piggyback, the magic of thinking big. So for me in college, I didn't realize, like you said about reading, all the information that you want to know is in the book. Like, you just go to school and be like, oh, I gotta read. No, when I started reading for fun, it just changed my mind. So the magic of thinking big is one of those books that just help you deal with people and learn how to maneuver.
And I'm going to say this real quick. Sorry, just real fast. So, in line of that, I decided just 2 days ago that this is my last year for doing last moment. The last few houses are my last small project. And once again, it's partly fear, and then another thing is I know for a fact that I wasn't thinking big enough, right? And then I was looking at the math, bro. It's this bank in North Carolina. They down there. I put a house in North Carolina last Friday. My first flip out of state. And
congratulations.
Appreciate my partners. But this loan is so crazy. They give, for even new construction, they only charge prime plus 1. Hey, Shad, what's prime today? What's prime?
375.
375? So it's prime plus 1. So 4.75. So basically, to borrow $1 million, this interest-only payment, I'm only paying $4,500 a month. I can pay that, right, for $1 million. So there's no point in even consider why am I going to these little $40,000 houses where I could just get this mill and build something crazy in North Carolina for $400 a month. But it's just, the magic of thinking big. You got to think bigger. So after these houses, you might catch me on Instagram in Durham.
So I also just want to say congratulations to you on all your success. And we want to tell you thank you for giving the information that you give us. Because, so that was my reason for doing this platform, like for young men, for all of us who don't have that cousin, that aunt, that uncle, that mom, dad to call to learn this information. So it's like for Malik to take his time out and to share, like that means something. That means he doesn't just care about the money, he actually cares about the people. So again, we just want to thank you. We appreciate you. We joke around all the time. So I got you this. It's the right one, right?
Yeah. We crack it down.
See, he ready to go. But definitely appreciate you. For anybody that wants to replay this will be on my YouTube page. We should have it ready by Monday, right? So this should be on the YouTube page by Monday. Again, Anthony Lee, A. Lee Real Estate on YouTube. And social media platform for you, Marlon?
MC Belfon, MCBELFON. Find me on there.
Definitely. So we definitely appreciate y'all. Feel free, take some food with y'all. We'll be around for like the next 10 minutes, and then they're gonna start cutting the lights out on us. But stay tuned. We'll have another one of these next month as well. On January 25th, anybody looking to purchase just a regular house for you, your family, or even a duplex, that event will be January 25th at 38th in Lancaster. We'll have our mortgage lender, home inspector, and we're actually gonna have brunch there. So shrimp grits, chicken and waffles. So even if you just come in for the food, just pull up. It'll be another good time.
Hey, listen, if anybody wants some crack, we be right here. Just bring over your cup. Just get mine right now.
But thank y'all too for coming out, especially young ladies. Thank you for coming from New York. That's heavy.